The supplementary card I've issued for my grandmother shows that an $8,000 purchase has taken place in another city, but the transaction records show that the money is used on hymenoplasty. I'm shell-shocked, to say the least. Grandma is 84 years old this year. She's been bedridden and paralyzed for years. Why would she even get hymenoplasty done on her, to begin with? But when my investigation leads me to a plastic surgery hospital, I find out that my wife, Stella Watson, is actually the lead doctor of said clinic. So, I call her to demand answers from her. However, Stella refuses to answer my questions properly. Don't worry, honey, something's most likely wrong with the system. Betsy is already this old. Why would she have her hymen repaired? That's just a bullshit answer coming from her. She seriously thinks I'm gullible enough to believe her. I merely huffed coldly in return before calling my dad, who works in the Department of Commerce. Dad, Stella is most likely cheating on me. I want her plastic surgery hospital as compensation for my impending divorce. I jerked the steering wheel to the side, pulling the car to a stop in front of a newly opened plastic surgery hospital. The trees on either side of the hospital entrance were adorned with colorful ribbons and balloons. There was also a poster prominently displayed at the entrance, featuring a husband and wife, in scrubs and in the midst of performing surgery. However, it was precisely this poster that instantly ignited my anger. The woman in the poster was my wife, Stella Watson, but the man in the mask next to her was someone else. I stormed into the hospital at once. Just a while later, I noticed Stella and that man standing outside the operating room while being surrounded and interviewed by countless reporters and media. When I caught sight of the man's face next to her, I felt my breath catch in my throat. Wasn't that Drake Fletcher, Stella's brother-in-law? Gar. Watson, what's the secret to the loving relationship that you and your husband have maintained for so many years? A reporter's question quickly drew me back to the present, and I balled my fists even tighter. Stella just laughed happily under everyone's curious gazes and hugged Drake ever closer to her. Our marriage is as stable as ever because I make sure to keep our exchanges fresh and exciting every single day, she said. Otherwise, even the most loving couple would get tired of each other after more than 10 years. Don't you think so? Tired of each other? We had been married for 10 years, and yet, Stella had stayed separately from me for 5 years because of work. And now, she was telling the world that it was because she was keeping things fresh and exciting for other men instead. At once, I barged my way through the crowd, rushed up to her, and slapped her hard on the face. The slap was loud and echoed throughout the room, nearly drowning out the clicks of the camera shutters around us. Stella Watson, you're saying that your so-called freshness and excitement is by having an affair with your own brother-in-law? 5 years ago, Stella's older sister, Stephanie Watson, had died of a terminal illness, and Drake had no choice but to seek refuge in John Davia out of desperation. I took pity on him because he was all alone, and so I gave him a job as a caretaker to my grandmother, Betsy Mallory, and paid him a salary of $40,000 a year. But now, it turned out that he was having an affair with my wife. The slap was loud and resounding, and the reporters and media went into a frenzy as the flashes and camera shutters kept going off. Yet, when Stella first caught sight of me, her expression tensed, and her lips turned pale as well. However, before I could tear into her facade any further, Drake suddenly shoved me off and yelled, "Lucas Green, what are you doing?"